So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight I will be talking about Vaporwave and what we talk about when we talk about Vaporwave. I know might be an unfamiliar topic to you, but I think it's kind of necessary for us to learn a new kind of thing in this uncertain time. I bet we all have been watching a lot of TV shows, listening to music, and even creating art as a kind of a form of self-help. So Vaporwave, first of all, is a kind of art style. And I hope after this speech, you will get to know more about what is Vaporwave. Let's first look at the good old definition from Wikipedia, which no one will be reading all of these. Although my face is on the corner of your screen, it's still a huge distraction because how good looking I am. So in conclusion, I'm just gonna tell you that Vaporwave, it can be expressed in the form of music or visual art. And the name actually is derived from a software term, Vaporware, which is a term for commercial software that is announced but never really released. Now, speaking of software, I'm gonna introduce another software practice or term, the duck test. Basically, the duck test is when I see a bird that walks like a duck and swims like a duck and quacks like a duck, I call that bird a duck. The same is true in my approach to introduce you the concept of Vaporwave. I'm just gonna show you what it looks like, what it sounds like, and you will recognize one when you spot one. First, let's take a look at the visuals. So as you can see, there are some elements that are essential to the Vaporwave art. You see there are Windows graphical user interface, there's some 3D objects, sculpture, error message, which all seems kind of messy and does not make any logic sense. But it gives out a strange vibe of both tradition and technology. And right now, that's all you need to know. And then music. On the right, this is an album that is very popular in the Vaporwave art. It is considered the anthem of the Vaporwave music. So for Vaporwave music, it's slowed down and they took samples from the 80s and 90s music. Around that time, it was basically disco and funk. And they convey a sense like it's really bright, earnest, and slow and sultry, but often beautiful. So why don't we have a listen? And let me stop share. I will share you a clip of the music. Okay, so that was a bit of the music, and you may notice the quality of the sound is pretty lo-fi, and the video behind the music video is more like there are 3D objects you have seen, and there are all the elements that I mentioned before. So continue. Why does Vaporwave looks like this and sounds like this? To answer this question, I need to go a little bit deeper and go to the early stage and all the way to this artist, whose name is Giorgio Yeah, that's just call him Giorgio. He once said that to become truly immortal, a work of art must escape all human limits. Logic and common sense will only interfere, but once these barriers are broken, it will never enter the regions of childhood vision and dream. Now, on the right of the screen, you can see his work, The Song of Love. And in this painting, you see there's a sculpture, there's a green ball, and there's a huge glove. They're all stitched together, which doesn't make any sense. But if you think of it as your childhood dream, it just all explains it all because it's childhood dream. It's old, it's nostalgic. You may forget some things, and it makes perfect sense, right? After this, I guess I can introduce this idea on this time scale. So you see, in the 80s, funk and disco were really popular in the USA. And later that music became popular in Japan. And then, bam, there's the asset price bubble just bursted. The economic just bursted, and then everyone cries in Japan. And then there's year Y2K. We got the dot-com bubble and the 9/11 that everyone cries in the US. And in the first year of the 2000 year, everyone became nostalgic about their childhood, which goes back to 90s, 80s. And people just began to rethink their relationships with the technology, with their childhood, and it began to deconstruct the optimistic ideas of technology. That's why you see all these error screens and glitch sounds in the music and in the music video. So that basically is what you need to know. But I still have one more thing. I made some vaporwave art myself, and I don't know any of these people, but I just made that art myself. And if you want to know more about this topic, you can take a screenshot of this. You can go to this for more resources. Thank you.